The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everybody. This is Bob Hollis with the Mobius Network and working closely with KCB and the California K-12 Recycling Challenge. And having a great time doing it, by the way. Really, really fun program. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you and give you a quick orientation to the Gotowebinar system to make sure you can interact well. And then we'll move on quickly from there. So as you have your screen open, you'll see a lot of things that look familiar. When you're looking at your panel in the top left corner, if you want to control the size, you can use the zoom buttons here. In the top right corner, if you want to capture a screenshot of anything, you can use the little camera icon if you're on a PC. I don't think that shows on a Mac. If your GoToWebinar panel seems to have disappeared, or if it's in the way and you'd like to move it, you can use the little flyout tab here and click the white arrow in the orange box, and that will open or close your main panel. The most important part of that panel for attendees is the questions box. Because GoToWebinar can handle up to 1,000 attendees, everybody is muted by default when they enter the webinar system. But we encourage questions. They help us all answer things that other people are probably thinking and take the webinar to the next level. So we appreciate and want your questions. As you think of them, go ahead and submit those in the questions box throughout the webinar. That way you won't forget later. And then we'll leave some time at the end where we'll read out the questions and answers for everybody who submitted them. If for some reason we don't get to all of them, or if you think of something after the webinar, please contact us. We'll be providing contact information during the webinar, and we'd be happy to follow up with you as needed. If your whole window seems to have disappeared, chances are it's just behind another panel or another window on your screen. So you can look for your GoToWebinar icon in your taskbar, which, for example, in my case would be right here. And I can click that, and that would bring it right back to the front, which is what I'll be doing right now so that we can carry on and begin. So with that, I will turn it over to Ray Scott, the KCB president.
Good morning, everybody. I am just so appreciative of your time and your effort to be doing this for your schools. And really, that's what this whole K-12 Recycling Challenge is about displaying what your schools are doing in the way of recycling. The whole program is set to be simple to enter, simple to participate, and just simply recycle. K-12 Recycling Challenge is looked at by a number of state entities from Cal Recycle, Cal EPA, and a number of our other larger recycling organizations in California that participate with us in getting the word out to all the schools. And I'm glad to say that we had a successful year last year where we've increased the amount of awards and the dollar amount of awards we're giving out this year because of your guys' efforts. Also, please, it's a vital part that you guys submit to us, upload to us pictures of what you're doing, stories of what you're doing, because that, once again, enables us to create this whole story, whole picture to share with Keep America Beautiful, to share with other schools and how you succeeded, and gives them an example of what you can do. So right now I'm going to turn it back to Bob. So this way he can walk through the website with us. Bob?
Thank you, Ray. Well, right now, as you can see, I'm on the home page of the website, and this is where you'll find a lot of general information. Our registration is right here at the top. And the 2015 obviously is over. We're looking at March 2016, and we'll be doing it in March every year, we assume, going forward. You can register now. This panel will be going away, but we will have a recording of the webinar available here for anybody who couldn't make it. We encourage people to subscribe to our newsletter so you can stay informed, and we know everybody gets inundated with emails, so those are pretty low volume, especially this time of year as we're ramping up. And they're just general information telling you what's going on and keeping everybody informed. You can learn a little bit more about us if you want to read through the homepage there and talk about why we're doing what we're doing. but I think all of you have a pretty good idea of why it's so important. And of course, our overarching goal is to help the state achieve our goal of 75% diversion by 2020. On the About page, you'll learn a little bit more about the programs. And again, we've got a register now. They talk about what the goals are for the competition, having a fair and friendly recycling competition, increasing participation rates by students, staff, and community members, heighten awareness of the school's waste management and recycling programs, have the competition serve as a catalyst for K-12 schools and school districts to build and expand their programs, and organize the event successfully so it can be repeated and possibly expanded into other schools and maybe other states in the future. So again, we're scheduled to go from March 1st through March 31st, 2016, and you can register right here. The products that we're tracking are paper and magazines, which include all these categories that are part of paper, cardboard, CRV beverage, metal cans, expanded polystyrene, milk and juice cartons, food service organics, and commingled single-stream recycling. And there may be some slight changes. Here we're adding cardboard trays, for example, and might be some slight edits to this, but the system overall will be the same when you begin adding your products and tracking your recycling beginning in March. The registration form is very simple. We really try to live by this model: simple to enter, simple to participate, simply recycle. So all you do to register is come in and add a contact name, your school name, your preferred password for your data entry page. Each school has their own page. Your school website if you have one, so we can recognize and link back to you. A phone number, contact phone number, in case we've got questions or need to discuss anything with you. Email, school district, number of students, number of teachers, number of staff. And as you'll see later when we go through the rules in the program, we're doing it two different ways this year. One by volume per student, per capita, and other by total. I might interchange the words volume and weight once in a while, but we've got a conversion table there that will make all that level out soon as well. We'd like to know the grades that participate in your school, K through 5, 6 through 9, 10 through 12, etc. Whether or not you're public, private, or charter, and every school in California is eligible regardless of which category you fall into. Your county and address, and then any current programs you have. Are you currently recycling paper, cardboard, CRV, other containers? And then whether or not you're single stream or source separated. Do you have a food composting program? And which section are you registering for? Commingled or source separated. And again, there might be some slight changes here as we go forward, but it's all going to work the same. So if you understand what we're looking at here, it should be just as easy to use once we get forward. As you complete that information and submit, you'll get a confirmation message letting you know that we have received your information. And then from there, we'll be setting up a form for you and getting back to you with your login information so that you can begin entering data when we get to that part of the competition. In our press section, this is a great fun program that we do. At the end, we go to the Capitol and we recognized everybody who participated and all the winners. You can come here and look at the pictures from things from last year. We had a great turnout and partnered with DOT and a couple other groups that came out, and that was Christine there. So it was really nice to recognize the schools and some of our winners and participants and everybody who came out and had a great time and did a great job in the program. And now we're on to the rules section, and for that I will turn it back over to Ray.
Thank you, Bob. The rules are very, once again, easy, simple to adhere to. The accountability, if you want to say, for the schools is just one of two things: a service invoice from your hauler showing that you have recycling services, or a weight ticket, because now that we've added total weight to the awards category, giving more schools more chances to be recognized and receive a cash award. The per capita section of the rules, where it really makes it fair and consistent for the small schools, where the volume makes it more attractive for the large, let's say, a district. Simple example was last year, for example, in metal cans, Bridgeport, California, a school of 50 students, won the top award because they had the highest per capita because they only had 50 students. Whereas in Kern High School District, who serves 23,000 students a day, even though that they collected over 1,000 pounds of metal cans, had a much lower per capita. This way we can recognize schools on both levels, on a per capita basis and a volume basis. And so we went from 14,000 in awards up to 16,000. We're going to be able to recognize now, instead of 29 schools, 48 schools. And so everything that we try to do with the K-12 Recycling Challenge is to benefit and recognize more schools and be able to give more money for your effort in what you do. Then, of course, too, there's other implications for a recycling program at a school, as far as lowering your refuse costs for the school, putting more money to the bottom line. Also, being certified with the state of California as far as AB 341, commercial mandated recycling. By having a recycling program at your school puts you in compliance with the state. And that can be as simple as a recycling program for just cardboard, just CRV containers, paper, or mixed recycling. But by having a program in place, being able to display your efforts here in this program, which goes to CalRecycle, helps promote you as a school in that location and being compliant with the state. Once again, benefits for the schools that participate in this program. Bob?
Thank you, Ray. And so now that you have a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about, what we're tracking, and what we're doing, I'll show you a quick demo entry page. So every school gets assigned their own page. So you can see down here we had some schools from last year still listed up here. If a school was registered last year, they'll be automatically re-registered for this year to save them some time. If you've not registered before, I suggest you do it again. Or if information has changed, such as the contact person or email address, anything along those lines, just come on in and update your form. You can just complete it again, and that will update your entry. Each school will have its own data form, and when they were to click here, it's going to ask for a password, and then that will take them to a page that looks like this. And this is just our demo data entry page, but they'll just put in their name, email address, again, just to make sure we've got the right person or we need to get back with any questions. And then down below, we wanted to make this really easy for people. And some have different size bins. They don't have actual weight tickets. So it made it challenging for some people who had not been tracking before to get the data they needed to enter. So Ray came up with the idea of just building weight conversions right into our form. So that's what I did, and he worked with MRC to do some actual field testing and field work where they filled and weighed bins that were full of these different types of materials. Then of course you have some variance based on densities and product mix and that sort of thing, but in general it's pretty close. So all you have to do is enter a number. So for example, if you've got 96-gallon bins full of paper and you had 3 bins and 2 of them were full and 1 was half full, you can enter a 2.5 here. And you'll notice that as I entered that number, down here in total calculated pounds of mixed paper, that it's changing. So if we also say had a 1 yard bin, you can see that this number jumps to 311 pounds. If we added a 3 yard bin, it's jumped up to 751 pounds. So all you have to do is enter the numbers of bins of different sizes that were full of the mixed paper, and that will automatically calculate the weights for you that get entered into our database. You can also upload your ticket, or if you've got photos of the bins or anything else that you'd like to submit, you can do that through here. Just choose the file, scan to it, scroll to it, and then upload it just like you would any other file. And we've got a section for each of the materials we're tracking. So there's cardboard, CRV, metal cans. We've got foam trays here, and we're going to also be doing something with cardboard this year, so watch for that. Milk and juice cartons, single stream mixed, composting, and then again at the bottom, if you've got event photos, anything else that you can submit that you're comfortable with us putting on a website or using on social media, if you've got photos that you don't want to share, let us know that, please, when you submit them. But when you do submit, be aware that you are giving us permission to use that in our social media and newsletters. And we want to be careful about, student photos and that sort of thing, and just make sure that we're all doing things the way we're supposed to. But we'd love to see photos of your events, collection systems, staff, people working on the programs. Then these are our results from last year. If you want to take a look, again, we've got some slides there from our event at the Capitol, and these are some of the schools that won. And as Ray mentioned, Bridgeport here was a really interesting situation, because they are such a small school that the nearest recycling, they're over in the Eastern Sierra, by the way, I believe somewhere between like Yosemite and Tahoe, off of 395, and if they have to drive 40 miles for the nearest recycling center. So the teachers put all their recyclables in a car and drive it once a week to recycle. And that's going above and beyond, but it's really great that people care that much. Then here are our winners in cardboard, CRV, and you can see Bridgeport took first place there in CRV. Metal cans, trays, cartons, mixed recyclables, and composted organics. And we had winners from all over the state, from the North Coast to the east of the Sierras, and quite a bit of winners in LA. And partly because of the great involvement of Republic down there, really encouraging the program and participation by the schools.
Bob, one other thing to add to that is that all the schools that participate in the K-12 challenge also automatically get entered, their results get entered into the Keep America Beautiful National Recycle Bowl. So really, when you're doing the K-12, your efforts, basically you get, $2 for your efforts. And so I'll be getting the results from last year's K-12 versus what Keep America Beautiful did for their national competition.
Thank you, Ray. Yeah, that's a great add-on that I hadn't thought about, so I appreciate you bringing that up. And over here are our cash prizes, and you can see what we have for this year. Last year it was just the highest per capita weights, and this year we were also doing highest total weight for our targeted items. So the first prize, second prize, and third prize for each category. As Ray mentioned before, that adds up to a lot of winning schools. So we're looking forward to all of you participating and handing out some checks this year and helping us get closer to that 75% goal. We also provide some resources for schools, and if you have anything that you'd like to share that's helped your program come along, we would love to include it on our site. So down here, some of the things you'll see, for example, here's the LA School District program that Republic has put together. We've got some great information here from MRC and Bakersfield. They're a real leader in the program and have been a big contributor and supporter, as you can see. And they did all the weight volume calculations for us. Here's the information on the Blue Cart program and the organics program. And this was one that really excited me, having a lot of clients in this field and hearing them talk about how they wish they had more bins for their schools. MRC put together a spreadsheet showing the return on investment for a hauler purchasing bins for the schools. And if you can find an investment anywhere on Wall Street that'll return this fast, please tell me about it, because it's really amazing. So I suggest you come onto our resources page and take a look at that. And if you don't have enough bins in your schools, show that to your hauler and see if they might be willing to support you in getting more. Some more information down here just on the Green Expo, and that will be happening again in 2016. And then we've got some information here from Cal Recycle, Resources for Education, and we'd like to thank Cal Recycle for including our information on their pages. You'll find that when you go in here and take a look at Cal Recycle, they also reference our program and send people back to our website. So if anybody from Cal Recycle is on today, thank you very much. And here we have our weight conversions. If anybody would like to take a look at those, you can open that document and see what we've done and how much those weights came out to. We couldn't do all this without our sponsors and partners. So if you know any organization in your community that might like to participate and get some recognition through this program with their schools, please connect them with us. Ray's contact information is on our website, or contact me if you know me. Either one of us, contact us, let us know, we'll take it from there. But we couldn't do this without them. That's where a lot of the cash comes from that allows us to fund these prizes. So a very important part of keeping our program moving forward. And on that note, we've got a contact page here. So it's very simple. Again, just first name, last name, your school, so we have an idea of who we're talking to, email address, phone if you like, and if you are interested in becoming a sponsor or promotional partner, just click the yes box here and let us know what you have to say. We currently have a CAPTCHA here. I think I'm going to be replacing that with a different type of spam mitigation system to make it easier for people. And then you just click the submit button, and we'll get that information and get back to you if you have any questions or anything we can help you with. And then one more thing I'd like to point out a little bit outside the website is our Facebook page. So if you participate and are connected in Facebook, come out, connect with us, like us, comment on our posts, submit your comments and posts, and we'll do the same. You can look here for upcoming events and things that are going on. You can see some of the schools that we've liked ourselves, and we, of course, welcome you crossing over and coming back and liking our pages as well, so that we can promote your events and you can talk to people about what you're doing with us. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ray. And again, I would remind you to submit any questions that you have. I see a few of them coming in here. Let me pop those out.
Good. Let's answer those, Bob.
Sounds good. Okay, the first question, will this webinar be available later for teachers who can't be on the webinar during class time? Yes, it will be. I'm recording this right now, and probably by noon or 1 today, I'll have it up. Well, let me build a buffer in there just in case. We'll say 2 o'clock today. I'll have it up on the website. And if you like, send me an email. I can send a link out directly to you if that's helpful. Second question. At Abraxas High School, we recycle e-waste and ink toner cartridges. Are those items something you might consider adding in the future? Ray?
Any recyclable item is possible. Right now, we're concentrating on the most common items that every school would be able to participate in. But I mean, I would just be able to send us that information so we can look at it on looking at the whole scale of what's happening in the schools throughout the state.
Thank you, Ray. Next question. Our cardboard and paper go into the same bins. Do we enter under mixed paper or cardboard?
If you're mixing them, then it would go under mixed paper or commingled. Paper and cardboard have been successfully separated and weighed out, but if it's going to be mixed, it would best be suited in the commingled item.
Thank you, Ray. Next question is, what is single stream?
Single stream is commingled recycling. Basically, everything going into one bin, which would include paper, cardboard, plastics, metal, glass, all of your common recyclables going into one bin.
And then hopefully they get separated at a materials recovery facility. And so that's the difference. You might have recycling where it all goes into one bin, or recycling where you separate everything yourself. And that's the difference between single stream and source separated in a recycling program. Next question. Am I correct in assuming that if my hauler does not provide weight tickets for example paper, I cannot enter that particular category?
No, that's specifically why we built in the weight conversion for each. So if you, let's say you're doing 9 96s, well, that weight will be automatically calculated for you. The true gross weight would come from, once again, the collaboration of all your material, and just like Current High School Food District, they literally have a roll-off for all of their metal cans. And with the roll-off dump comes a weight ticket. And that's their, verifying proof that that's how much weight of metal cans came out. And that's why, especially for large school districts who have that ability to do a roll-off, can forward the weight tickets. If not, it'll go by the grand total weight of your entries as far as 1 yard bin, 2 yard bin, 3 yard bin.
Thank you, Ray. Now, what about schools working hard on reducing all kind of waste, recyclables included?
I believe that most of the categories that recyclable items are within this competition, with it right now the exception of ink cartridges and electronics.
Thank you, Ray. Next question. Can we send you videos made by students on the 4 Rs? And if that's a technical question, I believe so. I think Ray would love to see that too. It's good content. We are starting a YouTube channel as well that's going to be integrated into our site. So if you've got video that you're willing to share that we are allowed and permitted to put up, then I would love to see that. And that's a good way to do it, by the way, would just be put it up on your own YouTube channel, or put it up on YouTube and then send us a link to that. And we'll be able to include a reference to it on our assets as well.
Correct.
Next question. Do we submit photos of each full cart or bin if weight tags are not available to us from our hauler?
You can submit them just as an exhibit, which is wonderful. What I'm looking for is, once again, as far as the accountability from the school, is a copy of your service invoice from your hauler or the city showing recyclable services are there at that location, or the weight tickets for, just like Bridgeport did. Bridgeport teachers sent us weight tickets of everything that they brought to the drop-off site. So all of their weights were verified by a weight ticket. But if you don't have weight tickets, that's fine. Then I just need to see the service invoice. And one thing to be very specific, this whole program is really based on your school's location. And so if you have public drop-off sites at your school, those numbers are not part of this competition. It's just the recycling from the location of that school.
Thank you, Ray. And next question. Will a photo of my 96-gallon bins be evidence enough to compete? Just asking, as our hauler does not provide weight tickets at all.
Yes, once again, I mean, I'm asking where the competition is asking for a copy of your service agreement, which should show recycling services.
Right. So if that's not clear to some people who maybe don't see the invoices or don't see the bills or what comes in, so even if your hauler doesn't provide specific weights, you should be getting an invoice for the services provided. And typically on that invoice, it will show, you know, the cost is for picking up 10 96-gallon bins or whatever it is. So it'll show that you do have recycling services. So you've got somebody verifying the numbers of bins, and then the rest of the information could be submitted by you, including, you know, photos or what you're working on.
Correct.
Thank you. Next question, and it looks like this might be the last one, so if any others have something on your mind, now would be the time to enter it. And this is referring back to the question. The original question was, what about schools that are working hard on reducing all kinds of waste, recyclables included? And the follow-up here is, you did not really answer my question. You're not looking at percent of total waste, but you're looking at volume. So if you're decreasing all kinds of waste, your volume of recycling will also be low.
Well, the expectation is, of course, the more volume you're recycling overall, of course, the lower your refuse will be. Like I said, these are the most common items that every school can participate in, because there's a number of schools that don't have the ability to recycle ink cartridges and electronics, and we don't have a standardized process to weigh out those items. And so if I can't have a consistent standardized method, it wouldn't be fair or consistent for everyone.
Right. And I think I understand where your question is coming from. I'm personally a big advocate of zero waste, and I can see where you might be thinking, oh, what if our school decided to go completely paper free? So we had zero paper this year, therefore we have none to recycle, but we totally eliminated it from the waste stream. Understandable and valiant effort, but what we're really focused on here is the recycling part of that whole big picture. So we don't have a program in place that would account for, you know, reduced inflows coming in from the beginning to reduce, you know, at that point. What we're focused on here is the recycling portion of that, and that's what we're measuring and competing on. And one more question that's come in. Our waste service invoices are for the entire district and are billed to the school district as a joint invoice. Maybe there's a way to consider this predicament to enable schools to compete next year. And this came in from the same person who's asked a few questions before. So I think we both want to make sure everybody can compete, so we can do that. But it's Ray, you want to elaborate on what they might do in that situation where the district?
Sure, and what happens is you submit from the district saying that this hauler is contracted with the school district for refuse and recycling, and I would just ask for that documentation I would ask you to obtain that documentation from the district. This way, once again, it's that simple accountability for each school. And yes, I understand that sometimes each school doesn't get a separate invoice, but the invoice is still sent to the district.
And so they would just submit a copy of that district invoice, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then we had just a follow-up saying, okay, you're now answering the question. You're just not counting the reduced effort, focused on the recycling effort. And that is correct. And that appears to be the last question. Do you have any closing comments or anything else you'd like to say, Ray?
No, once again, I can't thank you enough for your effort, your time, and what you're doing for your schools. And that's the best thing of this, is being able to display what our schools are doing in California to help us meet, the state meet, the goal of 75% by 2020, and what you're doing for your school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate you joining us this morning, and we look forward to your participation this year. Please spread the word and help us accomplish our goal together. And that will conclude our webinar today.